Hi everyone, just a week in here giving you the update on episode 3 of Mum. This week's episode is about absent parents and tattoos. It is an episode that we are talking about absent dads only because we can relate to that. We know there are absent mothers out there, but this episode will be focusing on absent dads. I personally am not from a broken home. Alexandra was brought up with her dad being out the house. So he would be the dad that came and picked her up. So she's going to be talking about that experience. I'll be talking about my experience of dealing with a teenager's emotions from like her relationship with her dad. As she has been growing up, I've been away from Neve's dad since she's been 2. We also have a couple of special guests on the podcast this week. My other half is coming on to talk about his experience as a step parent and what it's like being that male figure in the house when he's with the kids while they are waiting on their biological father coming to pick them up, and maybe they don't turn up, or they're late, or like they just don't show, and obviously then chaos erupts. The kids are disappointed, and he's then there to obviously try and pick up the pieces and things like that. And then Craig also gives his honest point of view, what it's like when that relationship breaks down, and it's not just broken down with that person, it also means that he doesn't get to see their kids, and he could have been a massive part of that child's life, and legally he has no rights to then see that child and what that then feels like. We're also joined by another special guest, Danielle, from a solicitor's company that Alexandra used to work with in her previous job, and she gives us insight to what it's like when it's not amicable. It's not an amicable separation, it's not an amicable split, and it does need to go to solicitors to try and do what's best for the child, to have the right parents or the right people around them to bring them up. She answers some of our questions and also gives us some insight into where you can go for some help. It's definitely one of our more serious podcasts. We divulge actually quite a lot of our lives and our emotions in this one. It's great to obviously have guests on, which is different for us. It is quite raw, it is quite emotional, but hopefully in this day and age it's very normal. We were brought up to believe that when you have a child with someone, you will be with that person for the rest of your life, regardless of how you end up feeling about them or whatever. That's not the case. I ended up thinking, no, that's not the way it should be. If you do have a child, you don't need to be with the person you had that child with to basically live your life unhappy. If you're not happy, the child will not be happy. That is my motto, basically. And I know sometimes it is easier said than done. I honestly know that, but it was honestly the best decision I ever made, for not just for me but for Neve. And I think even me and her dad don't agree on anything, but I think he will definitely agree on that. Alexandra tells her story, Craig tells his story from a completely different point, and obviously Danielle is there to give us the facts, basically. In terms of tattoo story, me and Craig both share our tattoo stories with you, and both are hilarious. And we will be sharing a montage of some of the great Glasgow tattoos in Glasgow and surrounding areas on Friday, in the usual mum style, and a montage, so look out for that. But in the meantime, it will be dropping on Friday at some point. Going by the last podcast, Spotify will drop it whenever they like, but it will be dropping at some point. So we look forward to you listening. And please share your tattoo stories with us, whether it's funny, sad, memorable. You know how to get in touch with us. So we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you. See you later. Bye.
Mom! Mom! Mom!